Hello, welcome to RoadRunners. Today we've got some craft that's going to be happening, and we've also got Nick who's going to come and do a talk to us about a very exciting fellow and some friends he made which aren't your kind of normal friends. Well, they're not really friends, but God was with him in the situation. You'll find out when Nick speaks about it in a bit. But before we do go to all of that, I just wanted to remind you, today we have Zoom straight after the service. Your calendar should be in your emails by the end of this, and next week you will have another scavenger hunt to look at, and hopefully we'll get to meet up in the near future. But until then, let's go and see what we've got craft wise. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to RoadRunners Craft. Today we are going to be making a praying Daniel out of a cup, and then you can put your prayers inside the cup. You can even hold his hands together and clasp him and do all sorts of different hand movements. But this is going to be our Daniel. I've not given him hair yet, but I'm going to show you how to make our prayer cups. First of all, you need some paper. What you need to do on your paper is very simply draw out your eyes, your mouth, and one hand. So draw out your eyes, and then on the edge of the paper here, draw your hand. So then once you've done that, cut these out, but for the hand, the best way to cut the hand out is get your bit of paper, fold it over, and then cut. And now we have two slightly funky looking but identical hands. Cut the rest out, and then it's just a matter of putting them onto your cup. I'll show you a trick for that as well. Don't use a cup that you would normally use. And now I'm just going to stick them on the back of this cup. What you do, the best way for the eyes is you lay your eyes out at the gap you want them to be. Make sure they're the way you want them to be. Get a bit of sellotape. And as long as you're doing it on a hard surface, not on some more paper, just lay the tape across your eyes. And now they're in the right position. Then you get your cup. Mine's going to have eyes in the back. And simply stick them on your cup. I would recommend using the same outline colour as your cup because it makes it stand out better. Then you get your mouth, do the same. I'm going to keep these hands because I like these hands, so I can do it on both sides then. And what we do is, using our scrap bits of paper left, we're going to cut out a couple of strips. Doesn't matter how neat or tidy they are. And we're going to write on these strips some prayers that we want to try and remember to pray this week. So I'm going to pray for school friends. And I'm going to pray for church meetup. And then you put them in your cup, and now if you put your cup on your bedside table or somewhere where you're going to sit every day, it will go, oh yeah, that's my prayer cup, quick. And you can grab a prayer out, say that prayer, put it back in, and that way you will still have lots of prayers to pray. But like Daniel, you'll remember to do it every day, regardless of what's going on around you. You've got a reminder to pray, and you can, if you wanted to, you can sellotape the hands in a prayer thing like that, or in the air because you're asking God for help, or just have them flopping around. You can make some hair as well. Should we make some hair? Give him some funky hair. Again, the easier way to do the hair, you do a slight curve And then you do whatever hair pattern you want. You can obviously make yours look a bit nicer than mine, but you can stick it on. And because you've got the slight curve, it sticks on a round circle a bit better than if it was just a flush. Sellotape in the middle this time. And then sellotape it on. Now obviously don't drink out this cup, but you now have your praying Daniel, which you can remember with the prayers in each day. Enjoy!
Hello Roadrunners, great to be with you again. I've got an amazing Bible story for you this week. It's one of the most well-known in the Old Testament. It actually features animals. I wonder if you can guess which story it is. Perhaps if I told you it involved lions, you might manage to guess who the story was about. Yes, Daniel. If you do know the story, you'll remember that Daniel was thrown into a den of lions and he was left there overnight whilst the king hoped and possibly prayed that Daniel would be okay. He was greatly relieved, therefore, to discover in the morning that Daniel had survived because God had made sure that the lions didn't harm him. It was a miracle. As a result, the king decided that Daniel's God was obviously the God who he should be worshipping. But do you know why Daniel was thrown into the lion's den? What had he done which caused the officials to persuade the king to throw him into the lion's den? What was it? The reason was that Daniel prayed regularly to God. He was persistent in his prayers. That means he kept on praying. He prayed 3 times every day, actually. Come what may, Daniel prayed. Well, the officials didn't like Daniel because he was a Jew and because the king had appointed him to a really important job over them. So they plotted to get rid of him. They got the king to pass a law which said that anyone who didn't bow down and pray and worship to a big statue of the king should be thrown in the lion's den. Of course, they knew that Daniel would still pray to the true God. And when he did, as usual, they caught him at it and they reported him to the king. Well, because they persuaded the king to pass a law that said that anyone who did pray or worship anybody other than the king's statue should be thrown into the lion's den, the king had to do it. But as Daniel had prayed regularly to his God, God made sure the lions didn't harm him. Now, this story has a message for us. It's important that we pray regularly to God too. We all talk to our friends, don't we? We like to chat to them. We speak to them and they speak to us. And it's only natural, therefore, because Jesus is our best friend, that we would want to speak to him and to listen to him speaking to us. And even when our prayers aren't answered in the way we want, like Daniel, we should keep on praying. You know, throughout Daniel's life, he spoke to God regularly. And God spoke to him, sometimes through visions. In one of those, in Daniel chapter 10, verse 12, he was told, "Don't be afraid, Daniel, since the first day you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words have been heard, and I have come in response to them." His prayers had been answered. So remember, pray regularly to Jesus. Remember the story of Daniel. Come what may, he kept on praying. And we should too. Bye.
Thank you, Nick, for that. That's an amazing thing. Daniel's friends I was referring to are the lions. Not quite the kind of friends that Daniel wanted, but God was with him in that, and Daniel kept praying through. Our challenge this week: read the Bible verses on the calendar and really think about, what do you need to keep praying? Is there anything that you need to really push forward to? And just pray, pray, pray. That's the challenge. Hope to hear from you soon. Look forward to seeing everybody in the chat. Let's go and have some fun. See you later.